Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen right now. If you are going to do a bit of business in the absolute chaos, the madness that is 2020, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. Here we go again. The videos are coming thick and fast. This is your Monday Club VT, where we're going to look back at Saturday's disappointing defeat at home to Huddersfield and look forward to tomorrow night's very difficult test away to Norwich at Carrow Road. But as always, let's wind it back to Saturday in the starting 11 that Gary Rowett, Adam Barrett, Sean Williams and Alex Pearce picked to start the match. So 2 changes were made from the team that performed so well against Preston in midweek. One was Mason Bennett dropping out and Conor Mahoney coming in. And the other, of course, was a forced change. Kenneth Zohore limped off after scoring his first goal in his first start for the club at Preston. And he wasn't in the starting 11 or on the substitutes bench. So I can only assume for now, until we hear any different, that he is injured. It was Bulkowski in goal. It was 3 centre-backs, Murray Wallace, Jake Cooper and Sean Hutchinson. Marlon Romeo, right wing-back. Scott Malone, left wing-back. Ryan Woods and Ryan Leonard were the central midfield pairing, with Tom Bradshaw preferred to Matt Smith as a central striker. Jeb Wallace on the right, and as I already said, Mason Bennett dropped out and Conor Mahoney came in to replace him on the left. Zohore is an unfortunate one. You can't do anything about it. And I will say for us, we've been very, very unfortunate with strikers. So we wait with bated breath to hear more about that one from the club. Hopefully it's nothing serious and we'll be back sooner rather than later. If it is worst case and he is out for a while, I'm not saying he is, I don't know anything, then obviously Troy Parrott is near full fitness, I would assume. So good that we went after both, got both, and we've been unfortunate in positions with injuries that is a critical position for us, a position that I said in pre-season I felt we're going to struggle with to score goals. So to have different strikers at different times injured, I know you can't pick and choose your injuries, but you'd rather sacrifice a left-sided player. For instance, we've got Shane Ferguson, Murray Wallace and Scott Malone all sitting there. But as I said, you can't pick and choose your injuries, and we've been very, very unfortunate with timing of injuries. But again, strength in depth in the squad. We have still got plenty to choose from up front. I was surprised he went with Bradshaw, and he was removed at half-time. And again, I will defend him when I get into that stage of the analysis. But yeah, the other one, Mason Bennett drops out. Conor Mahoney comes in. Conor Mahoney plays so well against Luton, and I thought he did okay against Barnsley. I thought he got kicked out of the game almost against Barnsley. I was very disappointed when Mahoney was dropped and Bennett came in. Bennett then, in my opinion, was man of the match at Preston. He then gets dropped to bring in Mahoney. And I know the gaffer said it's a rotational thing, but at no point has he rested Jed. And Jed's our main man, and rightly so. But this isn't a dig at Jed at all. I think he looks like he could need a rest. Just of the mind, not just as well as the body. He's fit as a fiddle, we know that. But I just feel, a little rest from the team could benefit Jed and make him an even better player and even more determined and more aggressive when he did come back in. So, yeah, strange one for me with the Mahoney-Bennett situation. For me, Bennett played very well at Preston, but as I said, he drifted central a lot, and I feel that his best position is central, and I'll get onto it again in a minute with the formation. I can't keep going on about boring myself, but the game starts. First thing I will say is this: did we underestimate Huddersfield for a start off? I think we was riding a little bit of a Preston wave, so we was very excited and we was very confident going into the game, and it's a typical Millwall thing. We shouldn't do it because the team are very bipolar. We're very up and down. We have been for a long time under Gary Rowett, very inconsistent, which is frustrating. But listen, we got into the game with a possibility of going second in the table and excited. So I don't think we dismissed Huddersfield. I think, and I was guilty of this as well, we need to remember 2 years ago they were a Premier League side. Okay, they've gone relegated from the Premier League, almost got relegated again from the Championship, and I think that's in the forefront of our mind. We need to remember they got to where they got under different managers, yes, but no, they're no joke. They're no joke outfit. And a couple of Huddersfield fans were coming for me at full time on Twitter due to Big Kev Toomey's video, really saying, you think we're shit and all this, we're a shit club. And I suppose when you say, we're Millwall, we shouldn't be losing to teams like Huddersfield. Really, when you look at it, Huddersfield have been in the Premier League a lot more recently than we have on a couple of occasions. So, yeah, maybe we did sell them short. Maybe we did underestimate them as a fan base. As a team, did we do that? Well, the formation again points that it's too defensive, in my opinion. and we do seem to show teams too much respect at the den. I think we need to go for the jugular. We always was better under Neil Harris playing on the counter attack. And when teams used to come at the den and sit, we found it very difficult to break them down. I don't think that's the case now with Gary Rowett in charge. And I think that we can progress and we should be more aggressive and not show teams so much respect. No, it works away from home because teams come at us and we pick them off on a break. And maybe that's why Gary Rowett does show them too much respect, because he wants the same thing to happen. But that's not always going to happen. Having said that, we started the game quite well. And again, I'll praise Huddersfield. They did their homework. They definitely did their homework. They were physical. They were aggressive. They matched us physically, definitely. And they also did their homework. Set pieces wise, obviously, it's no secret that we're a big threat from set pieces. And I feel that they did their homework and they lined up perfectly to counter that. Perfect example is the corners. They almost had like a 3 and a 4 in an almost like a line as you line up for a free kick, a defensive wall in the penalty area. And our players were getting a lot of physical attention. There was a couple of early shouts for a penalty. I'm not going to go into that and start saying, the refs hate us and all this. We lost the game fair and square. So what I will say is, not just in this game, but other points, and I've said it in previous videos, if we had VAR in the Championship, I'm pretty sure we would have had a couple more decisions gone our way. But regardless, the first 20 minutes, I thought we did well. I thought we was on top. And after that, the goal comes from Huddersfield, sort of out of nothing, a ball cross. They sort of, it comes back in to an area where the guy's running towards the ball, against the opposite direction. The ball's running away from goal, and he hits a trickle shot into the ground. And you can't blame the defenders. They've thrown themselves at it. Cooper's thrown himself at it. Hutchinson's thrown himself at it. And it just seems to bobble past them both and just bobble into the corner. And I'm not blaming Bart for this by any stretch, but he doesn't dive. He doesn't make any attempts. I don't know whether he's unsighted by the two bodies in the way, but the ball just seems to take an eternity to dribble into the net. And we're 1-0 down. And after that, honestly, it was an uphill struggle. And again, we started changing the formation at points. We removed Tom Bradshaw, as I said. And again, okay, listen, I don't think Tom Bradshaw is ever going to crack it at Millwall. I'll grant you that. Okay, he's never going to be a Millwall legend. He's never going to score 20 goals a season. And after Millwall, I do believe he will go backwards. So, again, for those thinking I'm defending him blindly, I do understand the situation. But what I will say is this: you can't ask a man to go and dig a hole without giving him a shovel. For a really shit example, that's the first thing that pops into my mind. He needs the tools to try and perform his job, and he doesn't get any service. So he was removed at half-time. Was he made the scapegoat? I don't know. I think, again, it's bad managing. We should have started, by about 70 minutes, the team was, I felt, what we should have started the game with. And what I felt a lot of you may have felt we should have started the game with. And we didn't do that. And as I said, after, I'm trying to think, I was supposed to watch the highlights back. I was going to remind myself to watch the highlights back again in case I've missed any goal malfunction that we did have, but I've forgotten to do that because I was too busy making notes and cooking a spag bowl. So, I don't feel that there was at any point in the game where I felt, we could get something out of this. After that first goal win, we just seemed to go backwards. The team seemed deflated. We seemed to have a lack of ideas. I don't want to say it again. I don't want to be rude or disrespectful, but Marlon Romeo, in my opinion, is not a good footballer. And someone said the right thing. He should just concentrate, if we do play a flat back four, in just being a defender. And for as good as he used to be going forward and not so good at the back, he's not bad defensively now. Going forward, he's horrendous. I'm sorry, he is. He's absolutely horrendous. He has got, I was speaking to my mate yesterday at the pub about this. When you're a footballer, and I'm not, some people might think, shut up, mate, he was never a footballer. Okay, I wasn't. But when you played any level of football, if you've got any sort of understanding of football, if you're trying to thread a through ball, you'll pass the ball in a certain way. You might, a little outside of the foot. If you're whipping a crossing, you want to wrap your foot around the ball. If you want to, have a shot goal, you're going to put your laces through it. Marlon Romeo seems to have one technique of striking the ball. It doesn't ever change. You never see him try and wrap his foot around the ball, cross in. And as a result, every single time might be dramatic. 9 times out of 10, when Marlon Romeo gets the ball, it ends in him giving it away. You've just got to watch it. And I was doing it against Saturday. He just clipping balls over the top to the goalkeeper, kicking just balls off defenders, and while he's trying to get crosses in. And I'm not going to go on about it. It's not character assassination. He's not the reason we lost the game. But I really do feel he's a weak link in this side now, and I think he's gone backwards. And I think you've only got to look at the goals he used to score, getting forward, having a major impact in everything we did going forward. It just doesn't do it anymore. He tries to get forward still, granted. He's exciting. He's an athlete, is what he is. He's very fit. He's very quick. He can carry the ball, which is good, but his final product is absolutely 0 out of 10. And for me, he's the weak link. But as I said, it wasn't his fault we lost the game. I'm struggling to remember any real chances in the game where the Huddersfield goalkeeper had to make a save. As I said, we chopped and changed the formation and with the team at points during the game, before half-time, after half-time, formations, players, and it just looks like amateur hour, in my opinion. You know, and for as good as we was at Preston, we can try and rack our brains and analyse it all day long why we wasn't as good at home against Huddersfield. But it is what it is. It's a Millwall performance. They go up the other end while we're pushing forward, and I'm going to slag someone else off now. Ryan Woods, okay. Ryan Woods and Ryan Leonard, by the way, they're our best pairing. You know, all the time. The Billy Mitchell's not fit, in my opinion. Leonard's improved. I've liked what he's been doing lately. He's adding goals to his game. He understands that role, getting forward. He's pressing high. He's winning tackles, slide tackles. He's much improved, and I like him in the team. However, I felt he looked fucked the weekend. The weekend. I felt he looked like he needed a rest. And Ben Thompson, and I've said this before, it looks like for as long as Gary Rowett continues to be a Millwall manager, Ben Thompson's got no future at the club because he is full of energy. He is a little bit like spaghetti legs, elastic man at times, Thompson. He sort of loses control of the ball, but he's full of energy, and that's what we needed on Saturday. Someone driving through, and I felt it was not harsh on Leonard because he'd be happy to play, but he looks like he needs a rest. And again, referring back to what the gaffer says about, you know, players injured, players needing rests, Ryan Leonard needed a rest, and Ben Thompson's there fresh as the day's been born. And one thing he would always give is energy, high intensity, and 100%. So a shame he didn't come on. Ryan Woods is a very good technical footballer. As I said, he won't always affect the game going forward because he sits literally as a full centre-back sometimes. Well, in this instance, if everyone's playing that, Pierce sits. Pierce wasn't in the team, obviously. Woods sits just in front of him, and that allows Hutchinson and Cooper to get high up the flanks, push on their wide. I mean, you know how it works by now. But they kept ploughing through us on the counter-attack Saturday, Huddersfield. And what I'll point to is if Ryan Woods doesn't affect the game going forwards, his job is then to protect the back four, and he doesn't do that either. So, yes, he's a brilliant footballer technically, and I know I'll get shit for it, but he doesn't really affect football matches, in my opinion. And again, I say he'll be very good starting off moves, picking balls up from deep. And as I said a million times before, teams are going to let you have it in their mirrors. They ain't going to go and press. They're going to let him have it, and he can play as many 1-2s with Alex Pearce and 30-yard square passes to Cooper and Hutchinson as he likes. He's going to be allowed to do that all day long, and he's going to look technically brilliant while he does it. But is he affecting a football match? Not really, in my opinion. And he'll be a lot better player in a top side. But I like him when he does get forward. I've seen him knock passes in games, and I'm like, that's unbelievable. And that's what we need. People to unlock doors further forward. He just sits so deep. So deep, and in that case, like I said, he doesn't protect the back four either. So, or back three, whatever we're playing. At times like this, I do struggle to see what he brings to the table, other than a very good pass completion ratio over 20 yards. Second goal, they're pushing forward. Sorry, we're pushing forward. They catch us again on the break. As I said, a shot of Bulkowski, and it's gone in. And of course, if it was Jordan Archer, I'd be doing my conkers. But Bart Bulkowski more than earns his keep at Millwall. Don't worry about that. Brilliant save up at Preston when it's 1-0. Our player of the season last season, and people saying he's messed up a couple of times recently. Wickham, no harm done, we turned it around, won the game. Saturday, second goal goes in my opinion, again, we could have played till today and we still wouldn't have scored, so it wasn't really, you know, we wasn't going to get back in the game, so that's a blooper. And I always say Bart seems to make not many bloopers, but when he does, they're very costly ones at costly times. For me, that didn't really matter because we wasn't getting back in the game anyway. He pushes it. He's miles too far out of his goal, by the way. Gets his hands on it. He goes behind him. He comes back. He seems to scoop it off the line. And I'm not really, I feel like I always give an honest assessment. That's why I'll get traffic and views from other people from other clubs. So I said Huddersfield won the game fair and square, got no qualms with that. I don't think the ball went over the line though, if I'm honest. And I'm now, as I said, if we had VAR in the Championship, which we haven't, I'm sure we do have Hawkeye. I remember Sean Hutchinson scoring a goal at the end a couple of seasons ago where Hawkeye was involved. So, yeah, for me, that didn't go in. But again, listen, it wouldn't matter. We wasn't going to win the game. And the double kick in the bollocks, the cherry on the cake, the sour cherry on the cake, is the third goal. They break away, similar to our goal up against Preston, isn't it? The Zohar one. They bide their time. They get up forward in numbers. And they score a third goal. Shot across bar, bang. Thanks for coming. The game was over by then. Didn't really matter. Comprehensive win. Did it flatten him slightly the scoreline? Maybe. Did they deserve to win the game? Yes. Was we awful? Absolutely. Can we put our finger on it? I've gone about it long enough. I want to get onto the Norwich pre-match prediction. But what I will say is this, and I put it out on social media. I'll put it on the screen now. And it's gone deeper than this, by the way. And I was going to go back and be a right busy bastard and actually go. I usually go off the cuff, from the heart, with my Millwall head on. And I was going to go a little bit stat man down today. I was going to go all about the stats because you've only got to look back. We didn't win a game. I think Reading at home, we won 2-0 in January or February the 20th. It might be January the 20th. After that, the next game we won at home was Blackburn, which was the last game before the last game of the season. So if you look, everyone's saying, you see these stats pop up, and I share them, I retweet them, because it's good to see Mill got these clean sheets. Mill have had this run under Rowett. If you actually look at our home form under Gary Rowett, it is absolutely horrendous, this season especially. And I put that completely down to the formation. And I said we changed it, got it right, and then changed it back. It makes absolutely zero sense why he's done that. And as I've said, and as, again, pointing back to Big Kev Toomey, the legend, he said as well, if you've got to change players, you've got to rest players, that's fine, but don't change the formation. Just change the clientele. Don't change the whole pattern of the team. So, very disappointing. 3 at the back will not work. At the Den, as long as I've got a hole in my arse. I've said it for the 50,000th time, and I can't keep saying it. Let's move on to tomorrow. And tomorrow, of course, we travel to Carrow Road to face Norwich. If you don't follow Jake Sanders on Twitter, he puts out a lot of good information. I like him. He must like me, the amount of coverage I give him. But yeah, he put his tweet out today on Twitter. So just look at that. That is something to definitely bear in mind going into tomorrow's game. Norwich are managed by Daniel Farker. Of course, they was relegated from the Premier League last season after going up the previous season or two, I'm not sure, as champions. They're an annoying team because they're a yo-yo side. They're far too good for the Championship, but they're not good enough for the Premier League. And I think they started right last season in the Premier League. Didn't they beat Man City at one point? And then they just fell away badly, and it just showed you the gulf between the two divisions, because it must be an exciting existence being a Norwich fan, either getting promoted or getting relegated. It must be constantly on tenterhooks. But yeah, they're too good for this division. And they started slowly this season, but they got to grips with it. And I watched them on Saturday against Bristol City, and they absolutely went to town on them. And they had some brilliant football, some brilliant possession. And they currently sit fourth in the table after a slow start. They've played 9, won 5, drawn 2 and lost 2, and they've won 4 of their last 5, and they are slowly moving up the gears just in time for us to visit Carrow Road tomorrow night, and it's going to be an absolute massive uphill struggle. Having said that, the Millwall way would likely to be us to go there and turn them over, but honestly, I think that's a massive stretch, and I would bite your hand off right now for a point. The one to watch, there's a few, but obviously it's going to be Teemu Pukki, the Finlander. He's about 29 or 30, looks about 57, didn't hit fourth gear in his career till late on, and he can't stop scoring goals. He scored 2 against Bristol City, and he's superb. He's definitely the one to watch. And having said, by the way, about 4 at the back, 3 at the back is definitely the better option, because he was getting in areas at the weekend where, we just need to get as many people around Pukki as possible. Hold on for dear life and pray for a draw, in my opinion. But this is your pre-match prediction, so here we go. I thought long and hard about this, and as much as we all thought Huddersfield was going to be a rolling 3-0, 4-1, 4-0, and we got reined back in and brought back down to earth with a bump, I think that I don't think this is going to be as bad in the opposite direction as some of you may think it's going to be. I'm sure I haven't watched the boys' prediction videos yet, but I'm sure some of them are going to throw a few 3 and 4-0s in. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet as good as we are at the back. Saturday not included, by the way. Pukki's just too strong. Just too strong for this division, Norwich, and I expect them to go back up at the first time of asking. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Norwich win with Pukki getting both of those as well. He was in devastating form on Saturday. It was half giving me the watching it, knowing that they were up next. But yeah, there you go. Sorry, can't see anything other than a Norwich victory. 2-0 Norwich. So that's your lot for this Monday Club. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've given myself an headache reliving Saturday and looking ahead to tomorrow night. But the show must go on. Gary Rowett, of course, is back in the dugout tomorrow. That's some positive news. And listen, it's not all doom and gloom. We predominantly start seasons very, very badly. And I think we sit about 7th or 8th for the minute. So it's not all bad. We've been unlucky with injuries. We've been unlucky with managers getting COVID-19 and assistant managers getting COVID-19. So the show goes on. The show will be fine this year. And if we can get Zahor and Parrott back in, I still think we're in with a good chance of making the top 6. But for now, that's your lot. Thanks for watching this video. Tomorrow is match day, so I'll be back from a live stream from 6:30, as it is a 7 p.m. kickoff once again at Carrow Road. Come join us in the live stream. We talk about all sorts of shit and sometimes even football. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.